welcome to When the Lanes Come On. You've come to the right place today. You're here for another episode of the Shaker Board. I've got the boys of the show today. So now we're going to do some introductions to see who will be asking the questions.
Micah Voorhis.
Bud Sicard.
Trevor Ashby.
Rylan Brees.
And Keegan Alexander.
And a special guest at the SYC Las Vegas event is PBA Tour Manager for Storm Bowling Products, Jim Callahan. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thanks, appreciate it. Looking forward to answering you guys' questions, and don't be shy to ask whatever it is. You know, I've been around for quite a long time, so I've seen most things that happen, crazy and normal. So ask whatever you guys want. That's why we're here. We'll have a good time.
All right, I'm turning it over to the kids, and I'm out of here.
Bye, Blair.
All right. Who is your favorite bowler to work with?
Favorite bowler? Men and women?
Sure.
I mean, I've worked with Jason for every major he's ever won, and every tournament but two, I've been involved with Jason. So, I mean, I have a little different relationship. Like the questions he asked yesterday when they asked what his goals and stuff were, I already knew all that. So, I mean, I like the young guys too, like Chris Vi and Liz Johnson. I've dealt with Liz Johnson for a long time. So, I mean, I like people that are fairly calm. But also we have a bunch of young kids too that we try to get into that space of being calmer. So I would say Liz and Jay, and then with the other ones, I would say I like Gigi. Gigi's cool to deal with. Julia Bond. I mean, I've known Danielle a long time. It's too hard to pick one. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably Jay and Liz. That's the easy picks because they're probably two greatest bowlers of all time. So that's pretty easy ones to do.
All right, so is there any bowlers that stand out to you as being the most knowledgeable on tour?
Chris Barnes and Kelly Kulick. But you got to remember sometimes that I think for them, the more they know, it kind of gets in their way sometimes. Instead of just letting their ability take over and, you know, letting their feel and reading the lane, they think everything goes by numbers, like, you know, RGs and differentials and things like that, where it really doesn't. You know, it's about matching, it's about having the correct arsenal and matching your balls up to the lanes and, you know, just paying attention to what's going on around you. But yeah, definitely Chris and Kelly by far. What you got, bud?
Who on tour that you rep has the best mental game?
Jason Liz. But that coincides with why they're the best bowlers. I think we're continually trying to get better. I think it's tough because our young guys want to win so much. You know, we have a lot of the really young guys, you know, the Prathers, the Kyles. Kyle's getting better. Kyle True. He had a really good year last year with, you know, raising up the level of, you know, his mental, keeping his mind slow and being able to, in big situations, keep his mind really slow so that he can concentrate on what he's doing and really concentrate on his process. If you watch any of, you know, the Storm guys on TV, they always say the process is the most important thing, and I agree with that 100%. So it's good. But yeah, definitely Jay and Liz. You never see them go off track. Like if you go to a PBA event, you can tell the people that let things that happened previously affect what they're doing now. That never happens. They always continue to go forward all the time. What you got, bud?
What's the toughest thing about being a ball rep? And then, do you feel any shame or guilt, like if you tell them to make a decision, doesn't end up working out?
I think that's the hardest part. I mean, people don't understand. Like I try to explain to people all the time what my job is, and I probably have the only job in the world that if I tell somebody something wrong, I can cost them from getting paid that week. Which, you know, they may not get a check. So that's difficult. But, I mean, I think over the years that I've done it, I try to be really, really sure before I say anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would hope to say my percentage is pretty high being correct. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but between Sean Ryan and myself, you know, we have conversations. And I think between the two of us that we have a pretty good idea, grasp what's going on. You know, we know. Pay attention to the pairs very much. You know, we pay attention to the oils that are used. And we have some other things that we really concentrate on. We keep really good notes of places that we've been in before, so we have good ideas of, you know, when we go back to a place that, you know, what's going to happen. But yeah, of course you feel guilty. I mean, mean, it's knock on wood. It hasn't happened too many times, but like you said, you always feel bad when something. I feel bad because obviously my job is to win every week, but there's only one guy that's happy every week. You know, if there's 100 people at the bowl, there's only one guy that's going to be happy, the guy that wins. So I have 25 or 26 other guys that they're not going to be happy. So, or they may be happy that they had a good week. Like Richie Teese had a really good week on tour this week. So I mean, guys, maybe I think if you don't win, what I try to tell them is the one to keep me sane is to make it where, hey, we'll continue to grow on it, and then that's the way you go on to the next week and continue to get better.
So as a rep, you've worked with many players many times. So what's the best example you have of a player turning a bad tournament and grinding it out into a really good one?
Jason bowled 140 in Shawnee the first game of the tournament and won. It's funny that a lot of the examples are by him, but he's pretty good. He disappeared, and I think he kind of has a chip on his shoulder this year. If you look at the PBA program this year, Jason's picture's not on the PBA program this year. So he's just had that look like. So I could see him winning 2 or 3 more times. And I think he's in good shape. I mean, you guys saw him yesterday. He's lost a little bit of weight. He's really sharp. The last week in Kokomo, he bowled about as good as I ever seen him bowl. He led every single game of the tournament. He bowled 260 the first game and led every single game, which in my 20-some years I've never seen. It doesn't happen very often. Usually there's always a dip or a valley somewhere that could fall off a little bit. But he's incredible to watch. You can learn a lot by listening to him and watching him. And I think that he's probably the best ambassador for the game. Kyle does a good job. Kyle Troop. I think Jesper's gotten much better. I mean, we have a lot of. The thing that's interesting is we win a lot, but we have very good bowlers. We have good balls, and I think I would say that Sean and I are pretty smart of knowing what's going on, like the things I said previously, paying attention to stuff. But I think we have really good bowlers. I mean, if you go through, we have every week we have different guys. We have Anthony Simonson there. We haven't talked about it all, and that guy's probably the most versatile bowler in the world. So, but that's pretty much the answer to that.
What is your favorite bowling center that a tournament gets hosted at?
That's tough. I like Riviera. We're going to Riviera this week, which is where the Tournament of Champions was for 30 years. That's where it was, the old school. You walk through the front door and it says here, I don't know the exact same, here walks through these doors, walk the greatest bowlers of all time, or the greatest bowlers in the world, or something. It's got a lot of nostalgia there. I like the old school stuff, but when Mark Roth won and guys like that, so I'm kind of an old school guy that deals with the young guys now and try to help them understand, where they came from. But yeah, I would say Riviera probably. Hopefully we bowl good this week. We've done okay there in the past. What you got, Rob?
So is there any certain tournament or pattern that year in and year out that you feel you have just a great understanding of and continued success at?
I think all the ones from 39 to 42. I think our company has a lot of two-handers and higher rev rate guys, so we struggle a little bit on the shorter patterns. And me personally, I don't like Bear. We bowled on Bear last week. They made it easy now. They made it 3-1 where it used to be super flat, where it was impossible. I think any of the ones with B are difficult. Bear, Badger, they're the ones that are tough. But I think any of the ones 39 to 42, we have a pretty good grasp on those. So I think that would probably be the best ones. Scorpion, ones like that. I don't think we really have, I hate to be egotistical, I think we got a pretty good grasp on all of them, but there's certain ones. Short is definitely not good for us.
I'm curious to know your answer on this one. Who on tour drills the most balls?
Anthony Simons. Not even close. I would say Anthony, and then Prather drills a lot of balls. Sam Cooley, but Anthony by far. Anthony Trupp drills 8 to 10 a week. Simon used to do, Jason, I do probably 4 or 5 for him a week. And then he picks out 2 that he likes and we kind of play with those. But yeah, Simon, he's a maniac. Yeah, he's probably 8 to 10 every single week. Yeah, but
If any, do you notice any differences between repping the men and the women?
yeah, men always think it's the ball or never blame yourself, where women always think it's them. You know, women always say, oh, I threw that one bad, where guys never throw it bad. And I think that's the difference of how the guys continue to go forward, where women get stuck a little bit sometimes, where they concentrate too much on physical stuff when they're trying to bowl. And that's a big conversation I have with a lot of our guys, is that Darren Tang's kind of in a stuck spot right now where he is trying to be too perfect. Remember, if you 5 guys are bowling and you're concentrating on your physical game and you 4 aren't, you 4 are going to kill him. Because, you know, it takes away your ability to look at, you know, lane play and, you know, be able to concentrate on the things that you need to do, your launch angle through the front, and, you know, draw your line down a lane when you're worried about, hey, I got to get my ball into the swing quicker. And when you practice is when you practice. When you come to bowl tournaments, you bowl for score. You don't worry about, you know, hey, my swing's bad or that. You can't worry about that. So you just practice extra hard at home, make sure that you're sharp when you come, and then you'll be okay.
I'll round it out with a little bit of an easier question. Do you bowl, or have you ever bowled in the past? And if so, how did you just come up with all the knowledge?
I bowled a long time ago. I bowled mega bucks and, you know, high rollers and they had a bunch of tournament eliminators and stuff like that. I was a decent bowler. I was never a great bowler. But it's interesting, as I was growing up, I always liked bowling. So I knew that I was never good enough to bowl on tour. So what I basically did is said, I want to learn enough where I can go on tour and I can live through the guys that I help all the time. So I still get the enjoyment of, like, when Jason wins a major, or, you know, Simon wins a major, or you have, you know, Jesper, who hadn't won in a couple of years, won a couple weeks ago. So I kind of lived through that. But yeah, I bowled. I probably bowled 3 games in 10 years. I'm not around bowling too much. So, yeah.
All right, thank you guys for watching this episode of the Shaker Board with PBA Tour Rep Jim Callahan. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you guys next episode.
Anytime.